China pushes back on international criticism over Hong Kong law. Ethiopian bank technical glitch triggered massive withdrawals. Russia says it will evacuate 9,000 children from border region. Bomb threat against Shohei Ohtani at MLB opener in South Korea. Russian and Belarusian athletes barred from Olympics opening. AI robot helped to root out disease from Dutch tulip fields.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Thursday, March 21st, and here are your top stories. China hit back Wednesday against international criticism of a new national security law passed in Hong Kong, dismissing concerns that it will further erode civil liberties in the Chinese territory. The United States and other governments have expressed opposition to the legislation, known as Article 23, which Hong Kong lawmakers passed unanimously Tuesday night after deliberating at record speed. We strongly deplore and firmly oppose individual countries and organizations slandering and smear against the Safeguard National Security Bill of Hong Kong, Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson Ling Jian said at a regular news briefing in Beijing, referring to the Article 23 legislation.
The local law criminalizes treason, insurrection, theft of state secrets and espionage, sabotage endangering national security, and external interference. IDIS meant to supplement a sweeping national security law imposed by Beijing in 2020. The Hong Kong and Chinese governments say both laws are necessary to restore stability after 2019 pro-democracy protests that sometimes turned violent. But critics say they are driving a broad crackdown on dissent in Hong Kong, a former British colony whose Western-style civil liberties such as freedom of expression were guaranteed for 50 years when it returned to Chinese sovereignty in 1997. John Lee, Hong Kong's top leader, welcomed the bill's passage as a historic moment for the city, saying it would take effect Saturday.
Ethiopia's biggest bank is reportedly attempting to recover more than $40 million after a technical glitch allowed customers to withdraw more than they had in their accounts. Long lines formed at cash machines across Ethiopia after the problem was discovered at the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, local media reported. News of the glitch Saturday was spread on social media by university students who withdraw much of the money, said the bank's CEO, Abe Sano. The bank has not said how much was withdrawn, but Abe told reporters that 500,000 transactions were made during the glitch.
A local newspaper reported that 2.4 billion Ethiopian birr, $42 million, was lost. The problem was caused by a routine system update and inspection, rather than a cyber attack, Ethiopia's central bank said in a statement. Ethiopia's banking system was shut down for several hours while the problem was fixed, with customers unable to withdraw cash. Established in 1963, the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is the country's largest bank with 40 million customers. Abe said the bank is working with the police to recoup the lost money. The bank will not press charges against students who took out cash that did not belong to them, Abe said. A bank spokesperson could not be reached for comment.
Russia plans to evacuate about 9,000 children from a border region because it is being continuously shelled by Ukraine, an official said Tuesday, reflecting Kyiv's increasing focus on striking targets behind a front line that has barely shifted in recent months. The children will be moved from the Belgrade region farther east, away from the Ukrainian border, said the region's governor, Vyacheslav Gladkov. The announcement came a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin said the Kremlin wants to create a buffer zone to help protect border regions from long-range Ukrainian strikes and cross-border raids more than 2 years into the war.
Ukraine has increasingly used its long-range firepower to hit oil refineries and depots deep inside Russia and has sought to unsettle the Russian border regions, putting political pressure on Putin. In addition, Ukraine-based Russian opponents of Putin and the Kremlin have launched cross-border raids. Putin discussed the cross-border incursions during a meeting Tuesday with top officials of the Federal Security Service, the FSB. Civilian areas of Belgorod have been battered in the fighting. According to Gladkov, 16 people died and 98 were injured over the last week alone. On Saturday, he ordered the closure of shopping malls through Monday and schools through Tuesday because of the security situation.
Police in South Korea were investigating a bomb threat on Wednesday against baseball star Shohei Ohtani, who is in Seoul for Major League Baseball's first regional season games in the country. They were alerted by the South Korean consulate in Vancouver, which received an email written in English threatening to bomb the 18,000-seat Gocheok Sky Dome in the South Korean capital, where Ohtani's Los Angeles Dodgers are playing the San Diego Padres. The Dodgers' trip to Asia has drawn legions of fans, with Ohtani the headline act. Ohtani, 29, joined the Dodgers in December after signing a 10-year, $700 million contract that was the biggest in baseball history.
After searching with sniffer dogs, X-ray detectors, and other equipment, police said no sign of a bomb had been found and that they were providing additional security at the season opener on Wednesday, which is reportedly sold out. Police said the threat bore similarities to previous ones that originated in Japan, and that they were tracking down the sender of the email. The two-time American League Most Valuable Player, who has been compared to Babe Ruth, is so popular that South Korean fans have embraced him despite their country's historic rivalry with his home country of Japan, greeting him and the Dodgers like rock stars when they arrived at Incheon International Airport outside Seoul last week.
The International Olympic Committee on Tuesday barred athletes from Russia and Belarus from participating in opening ceremonies in Paris as organizers target countries that are responsible for the war in Ukraine. Athletes from those nations, though no teams, would be allowed to compete in individual events as individual neutral athletes, or AINs. AINs will not participate in the parades of delegations during the opening ceremony, since they are individual athletes, according to IOC statement. But any Russian or Belarusian athletes associated with military and national security agencies will not be eligible to enter or to compete, the IOC said.
Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24, 2022, and Moscow's ally and Ukrainian neighbor, Belarus, has played a key support role in the aggression. These athletes still might march in the closing ceremonies. The Paris 2024 opening ceremony is set for Friday, July 26. The sanctions against those responsible for the war, the Russian and Belarusian states and governments, remain in place for the Olympic Games Paris 2024, the IOC said. So far, 12 AINs with a Russian passport and 7 rooted in Belarus have qualified for the Games. It's expected that 36 Russians and 22 Belarusians will eventually qualify in their various sports. There will be limited celebrations if those athletes win gold. The AIN flag would be hoisted and its anthem played should a Russian or Belarusian athlete end up on the top podium spot.
The Boxy robot, named after a retired employee at the WAM penning farm near the Dutch North Sea coast, is a new high-tech weapon in the battle to root out disease from the bulb field as they erupt into a riot of springtime color. On a windy spring morning, the robot trundled Tuesday along rows of yellow and red housestuck tulips, checking each plant and, when necessary, killing diseased bulbs to prevent the spread of the tulip-breaking virus. The dead bulbs are removed from healthy ones in a sorting warehouse after they have been harvested.
The virus stunts growth and development of plants, leading to smaller and weaker flowers. It also weakens the bulb itself, eventually leaving them unable to flower. As part of efforts to tackle the virus, there are 45 robots patrolling tulip fields across the Netherlands as the weather warms up and farmers approach peak season when their bulbs bloom into giant patchworks of color that draws tourists from around the world. In the past, this was work carried out by human sickness spotters, said Alan Visser, a third-generation tulip farmer who is using the robot for the second growing season. You could also buy a very nice sports car for the price of the robot, Visser said Tuesday. Its makers say the robot costs €185,000, $200,000.
The answer for yesterday was B, rivals. The Japanese are our biggest economic rivals. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Russia and Belarus athletes barred from Olympic openings. Number 1, barred, 被门栓锁住的. They arrived at a house to find the doors locked and barred. Number 2, associate, 将某事联系起来，把某事联系在一起. Most people associate this brand with good quality. Number 3, eligible, 具备条件的，有资格的，合格的. You might be eligible for a grant. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune into Funday news from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wadley, your host. I'll see you next time.